Mr. Steve here, and I've got an add-on that I made that is going to assist you with the viewport and rendering and the camera and how it looks. Going to be some cool functionality that I've kind of taken from Blender 5.2 for this little swap deal, the little swap dimensions. You can now do that in any Blender version with Render Scope, and this will give you the social media preset. You know, you can kind of swap that, this 9 by 16, 16 by 9, and then for the viewport, the main functionality of this is controlling the camera, and then the render, obviously, and then changing some different things. You know, putting on the thirds and such, and then camera controls here, and then of course you can go in and out. In or outside of that range. And then the big functionality, the fun part of this, is you can do a viewport render. You just click this and export, and just you kind of see what's actually going down here. I'll delete this, and if I click export, it's going to pop this into a folder that we preset in the edit and preferences, and there's your viewport render. And then if we change this just a touch and do another viewport render and export it, you can have this in 2 seconds. This would be great for sharing, prototyping, everything else you could think of, because you've locked the camera. You can do all these different views at one time and then export them. You can also do that with the render side. You may want to bring the render samples down just a touch so it's not too much, because you're just doing samples here. For a final render, you obviously set it to whatever you want, and then it will go ahead and render that and put it in the screen here, and you can export this as well. And when we do, it'll go to a separate folder for your renders. And there's the render right there. Now I will just jump over into the edit preferences. Let's go to key map real quick, because I use right click. I know it's the sin of my life, obviously, but if you use left click, you'll still be able to have an interactive viewport. You can still do whatever you want in the viewport. And if we go over into the rendered view here and kind of take up a different view, and we'll go ahead and do a final render, and you'll see the viewport button doesn't show up over here because you can't render what isn't there. So I just don't have it there, so it doesn't create any problems. And there we go. So now that's rendered out, and I can export that. And of course, in the rendered view here, we can change this AGX Filmic standard and get some different looks. And I gotta wonder, no, I don't have Scene World on, so we weren't gonna see anything. We were not gonna see the HDRI. Oh, yeah, this is set up a little bit different. I got this scene off Blender Kit. I just want to kind of show that real quick too. So I will give credit to the actual person that made this, just so you guys can see it. This is in the free option, so this one is royalty free, but I do want to give a big shout out to Krishna Shah. Appreciate that, and thanks for letting the community use it. Blender Kit is amazing. You can go to, well, you can go to blendkit.com, I guess it is now, and then we can of course render this out and take a quick little look. Oh, I don't like how that is only showing the renders there, but we can zoom back out there and do another render, because the focal length was kind of betraying me a little bit. So let's export that. And you can just right click out of that anytime you want if you're using left click. And voila, there we go. I just dropped another camera in the scene here. So I'll go to the view, camera, set that camera is active, and I'm just going to jump back out of that real quick actually. Let's refocus, and I want to grab this camera, and it's being a little bit of a pain there, and I'll just do a little Control Alt 0 here, and it looks like we're still tagged into the other camera, but no matter. Once you got a couple cameras in the scene, you can then of course switch those different views anytime you want. So that's another good function of this, and it'll just rotate through all the cameras in the scene for you, as of course you click through this. And of course your resolution scale is what this is right here, just in case you didn't know. So you can set this as you see fit. Just some quick controls, and this can be put anywhere on the screen that you want. If you want to make the buttons a little bit bigger, you can extend this out. kind of as far as you want. You know, just make the UI bigger or smaller, and it's got some redundancy built in, so it doesn't overlap. I don't think it will do that in any other Blender versions, but if you do see any errors when I do release this, let me know. And yeah, guys, that's basically about it. I mean, that's the thing. We're just going to keep rendering the viewport. Oh, I didn't show you the edit preferences. So if we go into the extension and view details, you'll see a viewport render folder and your final render folder, and then of course you can change the hotkey to anything you want. You can I added the more advanced controls in here, so you can change this how, like, literally any which way you want. And yep, probably shouldn't have added that much detail. Don't crash Blender by screwing with it too much. So yep, that's it, guys. Appreciate you watching, and I'll see y'all in the next one.